The first is extension of the arm. An extension is when you increase the angle between two structures as they move apart. So I'm in the flex position, and this is extension of the arm. And then flexion is decreasing the angle between two structures as they move towards one another. So I'll demonstrate that with my knee. This is flexion of the knee. Okay. Next is adduction of the wrist, and adduction is adding a limb towards the midline. So with my wrist, I can demonstrate that, or it's almost a wave like type of motion. This is adduction of the wrist and abduction. Notice that it's adducting, I'm moving towards the midline. And then adducting is moving away. Okay. Next is abduction of the arm. And I've already sort of mentioned what abduction is, but I'll explain it again. It's a movement away from the body's midline. So just like I showed with my wrist, it's a lot like the same with my arm. This is abduction of the arm and adduction of the arm. All right. Moving on to depression of the mandible is the movement of the mandible moving inferiorly to the maxilla, and it's like an open and closed type of motion. Depression, you're like, wow, my jaw. Okay, so your jaw is open, and elevation of the mandible is moving superiorly towards the skull, and it's a closing motion. So depression, open, elevation, close. All right, moving on. Next is dorsiflexion of the foot. Dorsiflexion is the action of raising your foot towards your shin. So I'll demonstrate that here. Notice my foot, my toes are pointed up and towards me, my shin. All right. Circumduction of the arm. Circumduction is the movement of moving your arm in a cone-like movement. So you're like moving your arms in like circles, like this. Okay. Pronation of the forearm is the rotation of the radius in a medial direction with the thumbs towards the midline and the palms are face down. So this would be supination with my palms up and my thumbs out, and then pronation would be my palms are down and my thumbs facing medially towards my midline. Position of the thumb is the movement of the saddle joint in your hand between the trapezium and the metacarpal 1, and it allows us to kind of touch our fingertips. Moving on to last but not least, the medial rotation of the arm, and medial rotation is the movement of the ball and socket joint in our shoulder that allows the humerus to move toward the body's midline. And there's an internal movement and an external movement. Internal, it would be like moving inward, or okay, so internal would be moving inwards, and external will be moving outwards. Almost like abduction and adduction. But that's kind of all I have for this video.